Good afternoon. From the KELOLAND Live Doppler Storm Center, I'm meteorologist Scott Muntz. We've been following the showers and isolated thunderstorms across eastern and southeastern KELOLAND. These are moving to the northeast. Nothing severe, but you may get a brief heavy downpour out of a couple of these. Temperatures are in the 70s and 80s. We have 80s trying to hold across eastern and southeastern KELOLAND, and we will warm to the 80s in western and central South Dakota later this afternoon. I'll have more details on your forecast coming up as we begin midday in KELOLAND.
Live from KELOLAND Media Group, midday in KELOLAND.
Minnehaha Country Club in Sioux Falls is preparing for the return of the Sanford International. And the backlash against the Trump campaign after an incident at Arlington National Cemetery. Good afternoon and thanks for having us in. More than 2 months after the floods, a southeastern South Dakota community needs your help. KELOLAND's Julia Lynn joins us with a preview of the story she's working on today.
I'm here on the islands at McCook Lake in Union County, where they are planning a massive cleanup event this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and even Monday to clean up all of this debris. I'll step aside so you can see. This is 10 weeks about post-flood. As you can see, there's a couch here, there's luggage, there is empty bottles, chemical cans, things like that, tires even. So it's gonna take a lot of volunteers to come together and clean this up. Coming up later tonight, I'll have a full report of what they're hoping to see out of the community and get this all cleaned up. Reporting in McCook Lake, Julia Lynn, KELOLAND News.
Today, we're also working on getting you an update on the flood aftermath in northwest Iowa. That's where we find KELOLAND's Carly Phillips.
School for Rock Valley students is set to start next week. A temporary building will house 150 of those students. There's 6 classrooms inside, and while there's still plenty of work to be done on the actual school building, officials say it's a step in the right direction. In Rock Valley, Carly Phillips, KELOLAND News.
Thank you, Carly. Turning now to a first look at your midday forecast with meteorologist Scott Muntz. Nothing like we saw back in June, but there is some rain out there today, Scott.
Yeah, some scattered showers and thunderstorms trying to make their way across southeastern South Dakota. Sioux Falls included in that. We had some brief rain momentarily, or we had that a little bit ago, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that coming up here in the next half hour. Temperature at 76 degrees. Of course, the cloudy skies overhead. Dew point still high at 68. We'll continue to follow the rains across eastern and southeastern South Dakota. You see it does stretch from Sioux Falls down toward Yankton. This is with our Huron radar, able to pick up on a couple of scattered showers and thunder showers near Clear Lake and to the east of Huron. This is our Beersford radar, able to pick up on these showers and thunder showers trying to move across southeastern South Dakota. These will continue to grow into northwestern Iowa and southwestern Minnesota. Well, we officially picked up 0.12 of an inch in Sioux Falls, just 0.02 in Mitchell. Northeastern South Dakota earlier this morning, Aberdeen had some rain move through, around 1/4 inch being measured, and nothing in central or western South Dakota. And I think they will stay dry for the afternoon in central and western KELOLAND. So you see the thick cloud cover now as the front continues to move across eastern and southeastern KELOLAND. Behind it, we have west to northwest winds and cooler and drier air. Currently 73 degrees in Pierce, 75 in Rapid City, 73 in Aberdeen. With a shower that moved through Sioux Falls, we're at 76. Earlier, we had temperatures in the 80s, and we have 80 right now in Watertown. You can still see we have southerly winds, Watertown, the Brookings, but they become west in Sioux Falls and in Yankton, so our warming may be done for the day. And we have a north wind in central and western South Dakota. Futurecast keeps the chances for showers and thunder showers around as we go through the afternoon. Into this evening, a lot of this is trying to set up across Iowa and into Minnesota. Forecast for today showing temperatures in the 70s and 80s for highs. Tonight will fall to the 50s with clearing skies. And for tomorrow will be a cool day. The air should feel a lot drier across the east, as we'll have temperatures in the 70s and 80s. I'll have more details on your forecast coming up.
Thank you, Scott. The annual late summer build is underway at Minnehaha Country Club in Sioux Falls. The grandstands, platforms, and other viewing areas are going up in advance of the Sanford International. The tournament director says they've made a few small changes to the golf course since last year's PGA Tour Champions event.
The tournaments and Sanford Health, we invested into some course improvement projects, so some new squaring of the tee boxes. That's more of an aesthetics thing than anything, but really provides a really nice look to the golf course. In addition to changing the drainage in about a dozen or so bunkers out here to allow their team less labor to spend on those bunkers in case we do get rain, and just improves the drainage overall to make them more playable.
The senior assistant superintendent tells us how he'd like to see MCC play for the tournament tonight on KELOLAND News. The Sanford International is September 9th through the 15th with the 54-hole tourney teeing off on Friday the 13th. Kids are still getting used to their school schedules, and so are the teachers. For first-year teachers, not only are they planning out their curriculum, but they're also getting used to their classrooms. For one teacher, she's eager to learn more about her students.
I think I'm just really excited to get to know my kids and really see them grow. I think knowing their personalities and knowing seeing them have fun and see them come out of their shells, because right now they're a little nervous still.
In tonight's Eye on KELOLAND, we'll talk with two teachers, one who's just out of college and another who just moved here from a different country, about what it's like teaching and their aspirations for the upcoming year. The fallout continues over former President Donald Trump's visit to Arlington National Cemetery. It has to do with a picture that was taken on the grounds and an altercation involving his campaign staff. It comes as his opponent, Vice President Kamala Harris, prepares for a big moment with her running mate Tim Walz in the battleground state of Georgia. Nancy Cordes is in Savannah.
Southeastern Georgia is Republican territory, but Vice President Harris and her running mate Tim Walz are rolling through anyway. Polls show Harris has pulled even with former President Trump in this battleground state. And her campaign says 35,000 volunteers have signed up in Georgia since Harris became the nominee last month. Hi. So far, she has stayed mum on the controversy over her opponent's visit to Arlington National Cemetery on Monday. Defense officials tell CBS News that some Trump staffers got, quote, aggressive, both verbally and physically, when a cemetery official tried to prevent them from bringing a campaign photographer onto the grounds. Federal law prohibits election-related activity in the cemetery. The Trump team insists their cameraman was invited by the family members of Staff Sergeant Taylor Hoover, and Hoover's family agrees. They all posed with Trump at Hoover's gravesite Monday. But there was another headstone in the picture belonging to Master Sergeant Andrew Marchesano, who died in 2020. In a statement to CBS News, Marchesano's sister said her understanding was that the Trump campaign staffer did not adhere to the rules. We hope that those visiting this sacred site, she said, understand that these were real people who sacrificed for our freedom.
The altercation at Arlington Cemetery is the media creating a story where I really don't think that there is one.
In Erie, Pennsylvania, Trump's VP nominee, J.D. Vance, sought to shift the focus to Harris.
And she wants to yell at Donald Trump because he showed up. She can go to hell.
That's pretty unusual language for the campaign trail, and the fact is that Harris hasn't yelled at Trump for going to Arlington. She hasn't said anything at all, though a Harris campaign spokesperson did say yesterday that the situation is pretty sad, and he added that it is not a surprise for the Trump campaign. Nancy Cordes, CBS News, Savannah.